What can I get you?
I'd like a large coffee.
Okay, so hot coffee.
Hot coffee.
Okay, room for cream.
Totally leave room for cream.
Why are you talking like that?
Why are you talking like that?
Because this is my voice?
This is my voice.
No, it's not. I heard you talking a minute ago. I know you don't talk like that.
Neither do you, because nobody actually talks like this. You choose to talk like this, and today I chose to talk like this.
Why are you so rude, man?
Just stop doing that.
I can't help it. This is my voice.
No, it's not. It's an affectation that annoying teenagers and rich people use to sound like they don't give a shit. Except you work in a coffee shop, so I know you're not rich, and you don't look like a teenager. Unless you're Eunice Kennedy Shriver, knock it off.
You're a total dick, man.
There you go. Good. You're talking.
Sounded like Pee Wee Herman.
Welcome to the Rhythm Section, a Memphis Music Podcast. I will not do that for the rest of this show.
Thank you.
From legendary artists to emerging talents, we celebrate the soul of Memphis music. Tune in for engaging interviews, behind-the-scenes insights, and a rich tapestry of musical heritage. I just try to make you laugh, Jeff. That's why I do these things. This podcast is produced by SRP Studios Podcasting, srpstudiosllc.com.
Catch new episodes every Wednesday morning on Apple and Spotify. And don't miss our video releases at 6 p.m. Central on YouTube and Facebook. For more information, visit therhythmsectionpod.com.
You're so funny.
I try.
If you enjoy the show and want to support us, you can easily donate to our tip bucket through Venmo and Cash App. Find the links in our episode and social media descriptions. For our video audience, scan the QR codes on the screen or search the Rhythm Section Pod on either app. If you find it in your heart to donate to the cause and help fuel this podcast, support will be greatly appreciated and will help shine a brighter spotlight on the great Memphis and North Mississippi music community. Now join us for our new TRS Sunday Replay series. Each Sunday, we return your favorite interviews in the order they were originally published, allowing you to relive the best moments and stories from past episodes.
This week's replay is Derek Joseph from the Derek Joseph Band. I almost said the Derek Joseph Band.
I wonder how he came up with the name.
Yeah,
it's very unique.
Yeah, it's very, not just a clever name. He's an old friend of ours. We did a lot of shows with him.
Yes, sir.
You can catch upcoming replays with Brandon Marlier on July 14th. Josh Moisturized Haynes on July 21st. And Danny Day on July 28th. All on YouTube, Apple, and Spotify. Whether you missed an episode or want to experience it all again, and we know you do, our TRS Sunday Replay series has you covered.
Prepare for a unique experience because every replay episode will be without the intro. We'll avoid this tedious tango and blast you straight into the interview like a superhero on a pogo stick.
Don't miss the chance to revisit the highlights and hear from our amazing past guests. Again, it's all on YouTube, Apple, and Spotify every Sunday.
Yes, sir. What's going on, everybody? My name is Derek, and today joining me is the Louise to my Thelma, Mr. Jeff Ward.
I like it.
Oh, yeah!
What's up, man?
I want to be Thelma.
How are you feeling this morning?
I'm tired.
Yeah, and why is this?
It was a late night. We Gen X played at Dan McGuiness.
Yes. So
first show there.
Quick shout out to Dan McGuiness.
Yes, thank you, Jason, and the whole crew at Dan McGuiness. It was a fun night. Being a holiday weekend, didn't have a whole lot of people there. Also, the fact that the Boneyard and Five for the Kill and Hairspray Nation and every fucking band that we have in this town was doing something somewhere. So here's what I'm going to do. I'm going to send all you guys Gen X's calendar, and I'm just going to ask you not to schedule gigs on those nights.
Yeah, that's right. Meals will have no entertainment.
Right, nothing.
Right. And you had some friends show up? You want to shout out to them?
Yeah, Jason Ware, my longtime friend, he and I started playing drums about the same time. I guess we may have been 14 years old. That was back when we would take hairspray and spray our cymbals and light them on fire and hit them. It was,
you could still do that.
Try to burn the house down.
Why not try that?
But
try that at an outside gig at like Sidecar Memphis.
But he and his whole family came. His daughter Jaden, an amazing vocalist, she got up and sang a tune with us.
What'd she sing?
Zombie.
Okay.
Bob Boscia. I still don't play it correctly. Sorry about that. But
interesting.
Yeah, Bob made a post on Facebook one time that he would pay any drummer in town if they would play the song the way it's supposed to be played. And it's not hard.
Okay.
It's just that nobody does
I thought he called you out directly.
No, not me directly. Just all drummers. Okay. Because that's how Bob rolls. So anyway, yeah, we had a great night. It was fun.
What's his wife's name again? Jason's wife?
Jennifer.
Damn, sorry, Jennifer.
Jason, Jennifer, Jaden, and Jake.
I'm not sure if I've met their kids, but I've certainly met Jason and Jennifer. They're wonderful people.
They're not kids anymore.
Very nice people. Up from Oxford. Yeah, so.
Yeah.
Well, good, man. Glad you had a good night. Yeah. I know it was a late one for you.
It was.
But your dedication to this podcast does not go unnoticed, sir.
Dude, this is what I live for.
Yeah, man. You're here, brother. I love it.
Absolutely.
Speaking of the Boneyard, real quick, shout out to Alan Bone and the band. I did not make it out last night or Friday night. I had another off weekend, but I saw, of course, clips of Donna Etheridge. Mm-hmm. Of course, she was out there. You know when she's out, she's good at throwing out some clips and videos and stuff. Yeah. And packed house over there at Neil's. But a special shout out to Alan Bone because he brought his drum riser.
Yeah,
I mean it's just,
yeah.
I mean it really is just.
It makes a difference.
It looks so awesome.
It looks great.
It makes for just a different visual, a different presentation, and I really like it.
And people probably don't realize how much work that is to bring all that out. And so,
I'm sure.
It's a lot.
Alan, I'm sure, could tell us all about that.
Yeah.
So thank you, Alan, for taking your riser out like that. Appreciate it. Audible. You don't know I'm going to bring this up.
Okay.
I want to talk about your love note to Shawn Few.
Oh, yeah.
That was interesting.
And it was absolutely, I meant every word of it. Dude is a hard worker.
I don't know where I see this post that you were like just gushing over someone.
What?
And it's Shawn Few. So we love you, Shawn.
Oh.
But it was, I think it was cool.
Yeah.
You know?
Dude. And you know, when you mention someone like that, you know you're going to leave other people out because there are other hard workers in this industry for sure. But Shawn just sticks out to me because it's 3 days a week. You know, sometimes 4 shows a week. They might do 2 shows in a day. And then they're going off to, I don't know, they went somewhere out of town doing some thing on the river or, you know.
Down on the river?
Weekend. I don't know where it was at.
Were they rolling down the river?
It's just constant with him, man. And I know his bandmates have to be like, dude, calm down. But it's he's just a man, that and a full-time job and his trophy wife, Carrie.
Hey now.
Yeah. Absolutely.
Hey now, sweet pear.
Yeah, sweet pear.
That's right.
But he's just busy, man. He's always working, and I just felt like I needed to.
That's awesome.
Do a shout out.
And I made sure to throw a comment in there. You know, Shawn has been a huge support of this show.
Yeah.
But I'm just wondering when you're going to actually put your lips on his ass.
Well, you know, who knows?
Sorry.
It's all good.
I brought this up just for that.
It's a full-on bromance.
That's right. I'm talking about.
Yeah.
That's what I'm talking about. Well, man, because we haven't done shit, we don't have much to talk about.
It's a short intro.
I will be getting out next weekend. Absolutely.
Yeah.
My daughter will be away, out of town. I have no excuse at that point, and I want to make some rounds. I want to check out. Here's my mission.
Okay.
I want to go see Lucky Dog, and I want to go see this new place, Neshoba in Collierville.
I want to go see that place too because I want to play there.
And you're not playing next weekend, right? So, all right, we got to get out there, man.
Let's do it.
We need more content for next episode, so we'll do that. But before our wonderful band sponsors,
our audience is probably like, thank God they didn't do anything this weekend.
Before our band sponsors, we want to talk about Pete Mendillo and his celebration of life coming up very soon. It's right around the corner, y'all. Attention to all of you. Prepare for a night to remember as we celebrate the life of legendary Grammy-nominated drummer Pete Mendillo. Join us at Neil's Music Room on Sunday, July 21st, starting at 5 p.m. for a free show in his honor. Pete Mendillo, a name that resonates with the Memphis community, is known for his extraordinary talent and collaborations with iconic artists such as Jimmy Jamison, Brian Howe, Brad Whitford, Savoy Brown, and Bobby Rush. His influence is also seen in the performances of local cover bands such as Area 51, Twin Soul, Fifth Kind, Roxy, Love, and The Lineup. This special evening will be a testament to his influence, with performances by an astounding lineup of 16 drummers and other guest musicians, all united in their admiration of Pete's unparalleled contributions. Don't miss this unforgettable celebration of Pete Mendillo at Neil's Music Room on July 21st at 5 p.m. with no cover charge. Mark your calendars, spread the word, and help us honor Pete Mendillo.
Absolutely.
Now, to the bands. Area 51 will shower you with UFO rhythms that'll make you moonwalk like an astronaut by covering artists such as Van Halen, Boston, Toto, and Styx. This message is brought to you by Joshine Moisturizer, keeping Memphis dewy one bottle at a time. Thursday, July 18th at the Collierville Town Square Concert Series. Friday, July 19th at Dan McGuiness. And Saturday, July 20th at Rock House Live, Collierville. Follow Area 51 on Facebook at Area 51 Memphis.
I know why you gave me Shawn's to read.
Just happened that way.
Lost 45s, playing songs you forgot you loved. Friday, July the 12th at Neil's, formerly known as. They are the new and hip musical act. Derek's always throwing this shit in here and throwing me off. That will give you a combination of rock, dance, and modern pop. So strap on those boogie boots, trail behind Jacob's Jolly Jigs, and dance till the cows come home. I love it. I never noticed Jacob's Jolly Jigs. Doubleheader, no repeat weekend. This is phenomenal.
Weekend.
This is phenomenal. This is phenomenal. Saturday, July 13th, and Sunday, July the 14th at Hadley's. Both nights, 6 total sets. There will not be a song played twice.
That's pretty awesome.
That's a hell of a catalog.
That's right.
Follow Shawn on Facebook at Shawn.Few.7.
Elevation Memphis is a versatile band that covers various musical genres, including country, R&B, blues, classic soul, pop, and classic rock. The band is currently working on finishing its album. To help raise funds, they have a consignment store that offers everything from home decor to the latest fashion brands. Go to elevationmemphis.com and click the shop tab at the top for all shopping. Elevation Memphis, a Tina Turner tribute experience, will return to Lafayette's Music Room on Saturday, September 7th at 5 p.m. Please reserve your seats now. For booking, shopping, and social media, please visit elevationmemphis.com.
My guys in Generation X jamming to the rad rhythms that had Generation X tossing their fanny packs high in the sky. Saturday, July 19th, we are at Sidecar Memphis. Saturday, August 17th, we are at Sidecar South Haven. And Friday, August 23rd, we are at Sidecar Memphis. Follow Generation X on Facebook at Generation X-Music.
Fever Tree, a Memphis-based rock band, draws deeply from its southern roots, bringing you southern rock, blues, funk, and gritty rock and roll. You can check out albums, Social Mediocrity, and Lessons Learned on Spotify and all other digital platforms. I have another quote for everybody this week. This is a quote from engineer and producer Dan Ward.
Okay.
No samples, no time nudging, no auto-tune. The album Social Mediocrity is about real people playing real instruments and singing real songs that actually say and mean something.
Yep.
Learn more about Fever Tree at fevertreeband.com.
Yeah, and I've been bugging the crap out of Mike Bertaldo trying to find out when they're going to do a show. And
the Italian Stallion?
Yeah, I don't have a firm date on a Fever Tree show just yet, but I'm sure everyone's just like me and they're ready.
So I have no excuse because I'm not as tired as you, but I totally blew past something in our intro. I'm talking about today's episode, next week's episode, in the pipeline. Right. So we're going to do that right now.
Yeah.
So Chris Craig,
you cannot count on me to correct you today.
Or any day. Oh!
Hello.
Okay,
Hey,
so today, Chris Craig and Kinley Wolfe, we're going to talk more about them in 5 seconds here. Mm-hmm. Next week, we have Thomas Halfacre from Halfacre Audio and Lighting. Of course, we talk about the whole Kiss show and his history, and there's a funny story about him being on the road with Play Rough and all that fun stuff. And then down the road, we got Jeff Adams, bass player for Starship. We've been trying to get him on here for a minute.
Yep.
And we had a good old time with him.
I finally wore him down.
That's right. We finally wore him down. Oh, he's so busy. He's on the road. So with Starship so much. But okay. So sorry we missed it on the front end. Now, bam, Chris and Kinley.
Yes.
Chris Craig, Kinley Wolfe of Lord Tracy. But this episode is all about their new project, Frayser Blvd.
Right.
We had them on last season, which was the audio-only season.
Right.
Chris made the trip from Nashville to be in the studio, but Kinley was on the phone because he lives in Dallas, Texas. That episode is all about their history and heavy, heavy, heavy Lord Tracy.
Yep.
So I will have the link of that episode in the description. Go check it out. That way you can get all of the Lord Tracy history that you would love to get. But again, this one is about their new project. And Kinley made the drive from Dallas for this one. Mm-hmm. How awesome is that?
That is awesome.
So thank you to both of you, Chris and Kinley, making those drives in, because Chris comes in from Nashville.
Yeah.
And Chris, when he plays a Seeing Red show, the late shift at Lafayette's, he drives back to Nashville after.
Insanity.
So, yeah, so awesome. So we talk about their new album, okay? Their new album is Frayser Blvd, all the way from Memphis, okay? It's found on all digital platforms. Right. Out right now, their first hit single, Sorry You're a Horse, and then they have a cover of Radar Love, which is amazing.
Top notch.
So Sorry Your Horse is a great original.
Yeah.
If you want to hear them wank, and you're going to learn what that means, you're going to learn more about what that means.
Yeah.
In the show. It's not what you think.
No. Thank God.
So that's awesome. And then Radar Love is awesome. And then part of the thing with this album is it's 90% just drums and bass.
Right.
There's a few guest appearances. Well, you'll hear all about it in the interview, because what we do is we kind of go track by track.
Right.
We run through the whole album, and me and Jeff spent a lot of time listening to it and making some notes. So it's a longer interview, but it was unique because it's the first time we ever got to do that.
And my suggestion to everyone would be have the album and listen to it as we discuss everything. That would be awesome.
There you go. Yeah. When we go to the next song, pause the show, listen to it.
Right.
And then come listen to our grade A commentary.
Exactly.
7/15, July 15th, that is their next single coming out. It is It My Body? Now, here's an example of featured guests. Backtrack. Radar Love has a featured horn section in it. We talk about them. But Is It My Body is it's a cover of an Alice Cooper song. But they really take liberties as they give it a twist, as they say. Yeah. Featuring Jess Vicknair.
Yes.
On lead vocals. She's the lead singer for Seeing Red, and she kills it.
She crushes it.
It's awesome.
It's awesome. It's good stuff.
And then they have a guitar player called Nate Fowler. And that's a rare appearance of what I will call a regular 6-string guitar. Kinley plays some acoustic on here, but there's so many moments in this where you think, does that sound like an organ? Does that sound like a guitar?
Right.
Yes, it does, but it's bass.
Right.
Because Kinley's a machine and a magician like that. So
he's the only lead guitar bass player I've ever known.
I know. And we talk about how that came to be.
Right.
It was because what comes up, the person that comes up a lot is Shawn Lane. And they were in a band together called Savage way back when. That's sort of the origin story of what later becomes Frayser Blvd. All these years, we talk about how that all connects. But in terms of Kinley's style, he didn't start that way. There was a point where all three of them, Shawn Lane, Chris Craig, Kinley Wolfe, were all playing with Black Oak, Arkansas.
Yeah.
And they told Kinley to do a bass solo.
Yeah.
And like I still am to this day, I'm like, no,
Right.
what? No, what? I'm not good at it, you know?
Right.
He didn't know what to do. So Shawn Lane was like, just, ramp up your distortion and play crazy and maybe do some pinch harmonics. And he just kind of laid it all out there for him. And he's like, Kinley was like, I can do that? Shawn's like, go for it. And he did it.
I didn't know bass players were supposed to do that sort of thing.
And I guess Jim Dandy loved it, and that was it. And that was the birthing of Kinley's style. But but that's not all he does. He can lay it down. So when you hear the rhythm, the rhythm bass tracks in these songs, I mean, he's right there in the pocket, but then he can just explode like he does. So they came bearing gifts too.
Oh yeah.
Forgot about the Martian soda.
Right.
If you can see that.
Yeah.
They brought in some homemade soda, I guess. At least they bottled it, called Martian soda. Mine was kumquat flavor. Taste Mars, pure cane sugar. And they had ones that had plum flavor, I guess.
Yeah, I don't remember I think there was only 2 flavors, but it was good stuff, and my bottle is sitting on a shelf at the house.
They love aliens.
For everyone to ask about.
Oh, really? I left it here.
Conversation,
as a prop.
please.
But they're a fan of aliens.
Yeah.
And I'm wearing Area 51 Memphis band shirt the day of the interview, and he points that out. He's like, Area 51?
Yeah.
that's a band? I'm like, yeah, you need to check them out too. You know, so well, cool, man. I feel like I mumbled and hummed.
No, it's
my
all
way
good,
through
man.
this
Sometimes a short intro is better, you know.
So, again, next week we got Thomas Halfacre. Week after that we got Jeff Adams. Looking forward to delivering all of that to you. And as always, remember to join us for our exclusive TRS Sunday replay series. We bring back your favorite interviews on YouTube, Apple, and Spotify every Sunday.
Yeah, and thanks to our band sponsors, man. Without you guys, this thing doesn't happen. You're completely fueling this thing at this point, and we appreciate you. You can find us on Apple, Spotify, YouTube, Facebook, and Instagram. Find all channels at therhythmsectionpod.com.
And don't forget our tip bucket. You can easily donate to the cause through Venmo and Cash App. Find the links in our episode and social media descriptions and scan the QR codes on your screen during the intro segment, or search the Rhythm Section Pod on either app. Your support is greatly appreciated, and if you find it in your heart, Jeff, to donate to the cause and help fuel this podcast, we would be amazingly, incredibly appreciative of that. So
The Deb Jam Band calls their tip bucket Phil.
Fill the bucket.
Fill the bucket. So that we have Phil's twin.
Yeah. We have a third host now. His name is Phil. Fill that bucket, please. So, all right, everyone, go see a band.
Yes.
I will be doing this next weekend.
Yeah.
2 weekends in a row where I do not follow that.
Yeah.
But that's fixing to change.
Have a great week,
All right,
and
y'all.
if you see us out at a show, come say hi.
Yes. Take care, y'all. All right, everybody. As usual, this is when we go into our feature guest segment, but today is guests, and I'm so excited to announce. Well, you already know by now. You've watched the intro. But ladies and gentlemen, Mr. Kinley Wolfe and Chris Craig.
Yeah.
Yes. So, of Lord Tracy, most everyone would know them from them, but today we're here to talk about Frayser Blvd, their newest project. Some singles are out as we speak. Thanks for making the trip. You guys drove many miles to be here.
Right.
Kinley's coming in from Dallas,
Yes.
which I heard you say it's about a 7-hour drive.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
And then Chris from Nashville. You live in Nashville. So we're honored that you guys would do this with us
man.
and collaborate with us on, pushing this new project out for you. So
Thanks for having us.
Yeah,
I mean,
thanks for
very
having us.
cool.
Yeah.
So we had them on the show last season, 2 seasons ago, where Kinley was on the phone, Chris in studio. It was the audio-only season. That's all Lord Tracy. So go back to that. I'll have the link in the description. That's where you can get the backstory of Lord Tracy. But like I said, today is all about Frayser Blvd and their new album, first album, all the way from Memphis.
Right.
And you guys were very generous to give us an advanced copy, So like in radio, man, we're special.
We feel
get,
special. and Martian soda.
Yes, and then they come.
yeah.
They come with gifts with a Martian soda. Mine is Taste Mars Kumquat flavor.
Yeah, I got the same.
So I'll show.
Mine
you,
is
see?
Taste the Abduction.
Okay.
Right. It's just plum or something.
Yeah, plum.
And what's
Awesome.
yours?
With pure cane
So,
sugar.
That is delicious. And
Yeah.
yours,
cheers.
Jeff? Oh, another cheers.
Yep, cheers.
Bam, bam. We did pre-show cheers. Now we're in-show
And
cheers.
I know we've got two guys in here that don't drink alcohol, but this would go really well with rum.
Yeah.
So I may,
I
have to try that.
All right, where to begin? My goodness, because I want to go in depth on this album. I both me and Jeff went through it and love it, and it's very unique, but also fucking rocking. Yeah, I mean, there's some heavy hitters in this shit, and then there's these what I would call interlude or segue songs, these like 60-second pieces that bridge you to the next song. So there's a lot going on. It's was it 15 total or 16?
15, I
15.
believe, right? 15.
15.
I think 15 with all the little pieces.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Something like
yeah,
that.
exactly. So, and went on your website, which is, again, FrayserBlvd.com. You guys put so much info, and that's great. All the backstories on each song, credits to people, the history behind where this came up from.
Well, we had a lot to say because we should have done this probably like how long ago?
Yeah.
Well, we're really old
I mean,
now,
we
but
started-
before that,
We're really old now.
20. We should have done this 20 years ago.
Yeah.
But
Or 30.
so you can go there to check all this stuff out, but I want people to hear it from y'all now, straight out of the horse's mouth.
So that's why there's so much information.
Yeah.
Because,
So, going back as reading on your website, this goes all the way back to Shawn Lane.
Yep.
And what was the? Oh, I should have wrote it down. What was the band that you were
Savage.
in?
Savage.
Cool. Let's start there. So tell us more about that era, working with Shawn and having that band Savage.
Okay. Well, Savage was the band we started with when we were in high school. It was 1970s. 76, 77, 78.
Mm-hmm.
And we didn't originally start with Shawn. We had another guy. And when Shawn showed up,
the other guy ceased to exist. I would have to think because Shawn was so badass.
Oh, I remember we were rehearsing at Rick Danon's house, and we had Tate and Van playing guitars, and Tate at this one rehearsal I thought it was a little girl, but it was Shawn. He was like 13 maybe or whatever, but he didn't say anything. He just sat in the corner, watched us practice and everything, and the next. I don't know how long we practiced, but we went in the next room to like smoke cigarettes and whatever we did, at the time and talk. And about that time, it sounded like Jimi Hendrix coming from the next room. It was just like,
yeah,
and I just like looked around and everybody that was in the band is in the room. And I'm like, what the hell is that? And Tate, the guitar player, brought him. He goes, oh, that's Shawn. And I'm like, who the hell is Shawn?
So at 13 years old, he made that kind of an impression.
Oh, totally.
That's amazing.
So I went running in there in the room, and I looked, and he's sitting in the floor cross-legged with a Les Paul, just shredding it. I mean,
wow,
like something you never seen. I mean, it was
total
just
prodigy.
Unbelievable. I went back in the room and told Tate, like, you're out. He's in.
See you later, buddy. You are no more.
But it didn't work like that. Tate was he was awesome. He was so funny. I mean.
Right.
Tate, he was a character. He was a guy.
But most people who are from this area who know who Shawn Lane is, I didn't know Shawn Lane at 13 years old. I knew Shawn Lane as later in his life as a phenomenal guitar player. So it's interesting to know that at 13 he's making that big an impression. On people.
I mean, he had all that technique and everything at that age.
Wow, amazing.
So now you're in a band with him called Savage, correct?
Yep.
Right. So that band, we wrote our own songs. We played a lot of copy tunes. We loved, as we wrote on the webpage, it was just something we did every day. We hung out together. We practiced. We had a guy's house, Rick Danon's. We went to his house every afternoon, played until we had to go home, hung out, wrote. And so we had a lot of original tunes we wrote. One of them ended up being I'm Sorry You're a Horse. Uh-huh. There's another one on that.
First hit single.
Yeah.
There's another one on the record that came from that era too, which is called Windermere. Mm-hmm. But back then it was called something else.
Okay.
And we rewrote the words to try to make it more today. Uh-huh. But the music came from that era as well. So.
And then how long does that project last with Savage?
Well, until Shawn got the call to go with Black Oak.
Yeah. That's right. Okay. Right.
So,
Black Oak. Everyone's played for damn Black Oak. Right. So,
well, back in
you guys are right here, sitting in front next to us.
Well,
in '78, they were still. I mean, you had Andy Tennis and Jack Holder. They were all playing with them. They were pretty big. They had that Rather Be Sailing record.
No, they weren't pretty big.
Yeah, they were.
They were fucking huge. I saw a video.
Watch your language.
And I didn't know this about Black Oak. But I went out on YouTube and searched a concert that they did. I think it was in California. And it was a sea of people.
Well, that was the first California jam.
Unbelievable.
That was Black Oak, Deep Purple, Black Sabbath, and Emerson, Lake and Palmer.
Yeah.
That was the first California jam.
That was huge.
Wow.
But those guys were one of the top money-making bands in the world in the early 70s.
Yeah.
They were pulling it in. So it was the first concert I ever went to, Black Oak.
Nice.
And I saw Tommy Aldridge play. And when he started doing a solo, I jumped up and I fell backwards over the seat. It truly did. And I was like, man, he was an inspiration.
So still
is.
So a massive opportunity for Shawn Lane, clearly.
Oh, yeah.
So that's why he had to move on.
Right.
So is that the end of the band?
Pretty much. When Shawn left, there wasn't replacing that. And so band was never like it was before.
But he went with Black Oak like 6 months later.
Yeah.
He being Chris Craig.
Chris Craig,
the listeners.
yes.
Yeah.
Uh-huh.
Yeah.
Not Jeff Ward, in case you were wondering who he was pointing to.
No, Jim called me one day. It was about 4 or 5 months after Shawn left. And so I went up there and started doing that gig too. I was 19. And that was pretty cool.
I bet.
Yeah. And now, who were you replacing? Do you remember who you came in after?
I can't remember the guy's
Greg
name.
Williams,
No.
wasn't it?
No,
Sorry, I didn't
he was a
mean to-
really he was a really good drummer, and I can't remember his name.
I do this to everybody that comes on the program. Yeah.
But he was a great little drummer.
So I was all by myself,
Yeah.
It's like, well, come on, guys.
I know. Yeah, I'm like, what the hell?
He doesn't need a bass player too. Shit.
So it wasn't Joel Williams. That's who you're thinking.
Joel, yeah, that's right.
But there was another drummer after Joel left.
Oh, okay.
And when Shawn got in there, he was a really good drummer too. But
Yeah.
I don't know what the deal was, but I replaced him.
Okay.
So,
And I would gather as the story goes, of course, this starts bridging into Lord Tracy, this era of your lives.
Well,
yeah. So
I don't know how long it was. Maybe a year later.
there was a year before we got Kinley into Black Oak.
Yeah.
That's right. So you did eventually get pulled in. You're like, finally, guys.
And,
Jeez.
my first show was, I thought I was a rock star. My first show was in Mexico City in the soccer stadium.
Wow.
What is it? Azteca Estadia.
Yeah.
Whatever.
Something.
It was right next to the big bull ring. That was, I don't know.
You were a
young.
rock star.
Yeah, we were young, and you walk out there, and it was just a sea of people.
Yeah,
Sure.
And by that time, you hadn't really toured, right? You were still just like a local guy, and then
Yeah.
you just jump into that.
That was the first show.
Mhm. That's my first show. Yeah.
That's wild. Yeah. Nervous?
Oh, hell yeah.
Now, I had been out with him for a year by then.
Yeah.
We had toured every night for a year. It was a torture tour, if I remember.
Yeah.
So, but it was a lot of shows before we got him in. But then we
Yeah.
started the new torture tour, which we played for the next 2 or 3 years
Yeah.
everywhere
Yeah.
with Jim.
Was it actual torture?
No, I wouldn't change a thing now.
Yeah, I bet. But it must have been the most amazing experience.
One night you'd be on a dirt road in a biker bar with 10 people, and the next night you'd be playing with Molly's Hatchet in a Coliseum.
Yeah.
And then the night after that, you'd be back on a dirt road and somewhere.
I mean, he's a worker, right? I mean, he's just constantly, and
everywhere.
he's still now, correct?
Right.
Yeah, so
Slow down a little bit now. But
I would think.
Yeah, because when I got in, we played with Mountain, which was one of my, because of Felix Pappalardi, the bass player.
That was
and
Mississippi
Leslie
Queen.
Webb. Yeah. Mhm.
Yeah.
We played with Mountain. We did like, I don't know how many weeks with them. And then we did shows with Grand Funk. And I mean, to me, it was like, Three Dog Night.
nice.
Everything those guys played seemed like it was a number one hit. It was, so it was like, all your childhood music memories, like being played, you're playing with those guys now. It's like,
Pinching
wow.
yourself, right?
Yeah.
So go ahead, Chris. Were you
Yeah,
gonna say
so
something?
I was just to say that that transition after a while, Jim wasn't playing it very much, and so me and Kinley both moved to Dallas and got in a band called Lightning. The guitar player we had in Black Oak at the time, we had pulled from Texas. His name was Rocky Athas. He's still out there playing. Great guitar player.
Yeah.
And so he had a band that was pretty big locally in Metroplex. So we got with him, and we moved there. And that's kind of where the beginning of Lord Tracy was, when we all moved there. Pretty soon we got Jim Ruzetoff down there. He moved down there, and we started calling ourselves 3D. And you kind of heard the story.
Yeah,
And then
yeah.
we got Terry Glaze in the band shortly after that. And,
Who sang with Pantera,
sang with Pantera,
which is wild.
right.
Yeah.
And this was like
totally different.
85, 86 when all that was going on. And, Lord Tracy's record came out in October of 89
Awesome.
and went on until
The
about
perfect time.
1991, I think, is when we finally disbanded that. Kinley got with a cult. Rest of us scattered to the wind.
Scattered. Well, yeah, like I said, check out their old episode. That's when we really start tapping into all that story. So let's frog leapfrog.
Frog leap.
You don't remember my name?
No, that's more like this. Or it's this.
Dooba dooba dooba.
It's covering all ground here.
Nice.
So when does the idea of this new project, Frayser Blvd, start germinating? What's going on here?
I can tell you exactly. I remember. It was a Black Oak gig. So Kinley's been doing Black Oak gigs for the last couple of years, 2 or 3 years, and I had one that they'd asked me to do. And so at the last minute, there was something going on, and I couldn't do the gig. And so we got to talking. We said, man, we need to get together and do some recording ourselves outside of anybody else's, reach or anything. So we said, well, I made plans to go to Dallas. We're going to go in the studio and record some songs. We made a list of some songs, and we said, why don't we bring out some of this old Savage stuff, see what it's like. So we brought out the old tapes, listened to it, and go, man, that stuff's pretty good for kids. You know, Shawn, y'all hadn't heard the old stuff, but one day.
The old demo stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah, we'll have to play it to you someday.
Yeah. So it was June, probably 2 years ago, about to now. That we went to the studio for we had 4 days. And we just laid down some basic tracks for Horse, Windermere. We did Rock and Roll Hoochie Coo, which didn't make this album.
Oh, I'd love to hear that.
Yeah, I would too.
We did Is It My Body, which we remixed it. We redid it a little bit to just make it more powerful.
Yeah.
Rearranged it, yeah.
And I want to dig deeper into the songs at some point here, but yeah. So you guys are like, right out of the gate, you're like, this is special. Let's extrapolate from this. Let's make it a thing, right? And when does the name come in? The actual name of the project? Because that's probably when it starts getting serious, right? Now you're putting a label on it, correct?
That probably wasn't till...
That was a little later because
6 or 8 months ago.
I guess when we started, we really didn't know what we were doing.
It was more about just the songs and let's just keep working together and having fun.
Right.
Yeah.
Just go play.
Yeah. Where was the studio that you did this work in?
In Oak Cliff, which is a older section of Dallas.
Okay.
And it's called Sonic Dropper Studios. It's actually a house in a neighborhood that's like, once you walk in the house, you're like, oh, it's totally been gutted and totally, redone. It's really nice.
So all of this stuff was in studio with the two of you. Was there any flying tracks and, the modern Pro Tools fly tracks? You guys were able to hang out together in the studio? That's awesome.
Yes.
It's sad that that's kind of unique now.
Yeah.
And special. Wow, that's so special. You guys work together in the studio.
Yeah. Yeah, because usually guys are recording stuff in their house and then sending the tracks to the other guy and across the country. And
that's the new music business.
Yeah,
but we're old school, and we wanted to get in there because when you're playing or creating, a lot of times the vibe that goes on has a lot to do with what gets on tape. Now we did do it with click tracks because we had no idea what was going to become of it.
Right.
You want to be able to dub, and
we wanted to be able to do what, you take advantage of the fact you can use click tracks and you can do some certain things, move things around if you want to make it better.
Because really we had no idea where it was going. I think our original plan was, to kind of get guests and kind of do it like what we did with Is It My Body,
Yeah.
But it ended up not being like that just because of circumstances.
Yeah. I mean, there's a few still, which we'll talk about, but I would say 90% of this project is just drums and bass.
Right, yeah.
And you might not think that.
Yeah.
You're like, wow, that's a ripping guitar solo.
Nope.
Guess what? That's bass.
Yeah, I mean,
on top of 3 other layers of different bass guitars. It's just such a full sound.
Well, thanks.
For sure. And there's some songs I have questions about, like how'd you do that, or this, that, and the other.
Yeah,
but,
I'll tell you.
I'm sure you will. Yeah. But I loved the mix. I made sure to listen to it in my car. That's my favorite place to blast some music in the car. And thick bass, big drums, nice stereo spectrum. It was just really well done, guys.
We kind of talked, like, I guess when we kind of started, we kind of wanted to make like a headphone. I mean, didn't we start talking about that right away? Like we wanted it to be like a headphone kind of.
Yeah, so where that stereo stuff really taps in,
when you were, I don't know about you guys, but when we were young, we would go home after school, whatever, put on the headphones, drop the vinyl on there. And,
I don't know much about the vinyl part.
pick up the, read the album notes and listen to that's what's just the way it was. So,
I mean, you tap in some Floyd, you type in some Pink Floyd, you're going to hear all kinds of stuff.
Jimi
we wanted
Hendrix,
it to be like that.
We want, all this painting and
we wanted to build soundscapes as well as songs, and we wanted it to be a story that kind of wound itself through the whole record and made it be more of a Today that's really old school. A lot of people don't make it through half a song. But we didn't care about that. We still wanted to make it like that, so we made it like
you make it how you want to make it.
Right.
Yeah,
that's part of being an artist.
Right. It wasn't ever about. There wasn't no record company, and there wasn't any people invest in. It was just, we're just going to do this ourselves. This is the way we're going to do it.
Yeah.
A little self-indulgent.
We didn't have that. We didn't have that thought at all. It was gonna, I think when we told everybody this is gonna be our vanity project.
Right.
We're just gonna do what the hell we want to do. We don't care what, if somebody goes, why'd you do it? We're like, fuck. Because we wanted to do it like that.
And I'm sure as it started steamrolling, you get an inspiration and more ideas, and then you just start digging in, right? And then off and running.
Especially the last year.
Yeah. It really got to snowballing.
So from day one-ish to now, it's about 2 years that you've been working on this.
Right.
Yeah. And that's a good amount of time. You're not rushing it. You're not stretching it out over a decade. That's really cool that you're able to find the time to do that too, especially working in the same studio.
Yeah.
Right.
And coordinating that.
I'd say the first 6 months kind of went really slow because then we were just figuring out.
Yeah, we didn't do anything the first 6 months. Jim, who's our partner on this.
Yeah.
Jim King, it's his studio, and he's a master behind the. If it wasn't for him, this thing wouldn't have happened like it did. And he took all of our chaotic ideas and was patient. And when we got through it, it was like we thought it.
Watching you guys live with Lord Tracy, I would never think it would be chaotic. Yeah.
Right.
And offshoot, real quick, sidebar, when I went to see Chris Craig with Seeing Red, we talked about it that next show a little bit, but you definitely bring the Lord Tracy element to the cover band. Of course, you have limitations being in that kind of cover band, but you still, because I was able to see you play at the Stage Stop reunion, I recognize this guy is still he wants to fucking rep.
Yeah.
Right.
And I would definitely say controlled chaos is what I would call it.
And you're moving all the drums. You're like, fuck this shit. This house kit is going to be my kit.
Right.
There's so many great players, and in this town, and you've had many of them on here that just kick my butt. But for me, it's like I try to do everything like the way I play.
Yeah.
And you have to be you.
He always has. I mean, he's been like that since I've known him.
I would say, Kinley, you've been you as well on the bass.
Right.
No. It took me a long time to evolve into that. Chris knew me when I could barely play Mutants of the Monster.
Right. But as far as playing just like the record and everything, I mean, I see that you were just from probably where it go, right? No, I'm going to do this my way.
Yeah.
Because your way is pretty unique, sir.
Yeah. I'm a little.
That's what we developed into through the years, and a lot of that comes from playing every night for years and years and years
with the same group
in a situation where, like Jim, who let us do whatever we wanted to do. Some guys go play this part, stick to that, don't move around, but that's not the way we were able to grow up. We were able to go do your thing, and we were lucky in that respect.
Blank canvas, paint what you want.
And some nights it was. Wasn't so good. But whenever you want to make magic, you have to walk the fine line. Some days you fall off.
Yep.
Other days you go, wow.
Yeah, and then you have magic. Cool. You have some magic moments too.
Right.
Yeah.
That's just
that keeps you going.
Take when you play outside the notes. So.
Well, let's talk. You want to talk the record?
Yep.
Yeah.
So I literally want to go song to song.
Sure.
And some notes I've written.
Those aren't the order that we recorded them in. I'll tell you. So, but
this is the order as they were in the Dropbox folder.
Right.
That's the record. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Cool. And there might be some times I throw out. It reminds me of this band. I'm not trying to pigeonhole. I'm not trying to, fuck you. And we don't want to be sounding like that band. It's just if something hit my ear.
Right. Yeah.
I just wanted to.
And we
put it there.
We all have influences as musicians that come through.
So it starts with like a 60-second intro.
Right.
And first off, it's got some acoustic guitar in it.
Yep.
Fretless bass. Are you using a bow?
No.
Okay, sounds like a bow.
Sounds like a violin almost, doesn't it?
Well, yeah. I mean, these like Les Claypool from Primus.
You're talking about Another World, the very first.
Another time.
Another time.
Another time.
Yeah.
Did I say it another time?
Yeah. That's the name of that little
60-second.
Yeah, another time. Yeah.
Right.
Yeah. So, did you intentionally want to start with just sort of like an introduction, soundscape, like that?
It came later, but the answer to that is probably we wanted to put we wanted to use soundscapes. We wanted to have something to intro into the whole thing. When you think about the album being an adventure from one thing to another, it made total sense to have some kind of intro instead of just start with the drums.
Yeah.
And it kind of laid out that little.
And it's tough to tell being Dropbox files or, MP3 files in a Dropbox. Will some of these just transition right into that next song? Because when listening in Dropbox, it stops and you have to hit the next song.
Right, you have to do it, yeah.
So this just goes right into the next one. Okay. Who's playing the acoustic?
Me.
Is that you?
Yeah.
Okay. Awesome. Yeah. So you're breaking the bass only rule right out of the first song. No,
Well, remember that song was recorded way later.
Yeah. You realize let's do something fun at the front and you do it later. Yeah. Well, then now we're jumping right into the meat of this.
And this, you couldn't have picked a better song as the first one to drop, because I was intrigued just by the name of the song and the picture that you guys put with it. I'm like, I gotta hear this.
It worked.
It worked. And it's awesome. It's a great tune.
Yeah. You're sorry you're a horse.
Sorry you're a horse.
Yeah.
Love it. And
so vocal, Chris Craig.
Yes.
So that's you. I was trying to guess who's doing this thing. No. I don't know your singing voice.
Thank you for calling it singing.
But I loved it. It's like almost like two songs in a way. You get the verse and a certain tempo, and then it goes like double time feel for the bass solo, and you guys just start Lord Tracying it. You know what I'm saying? And I want to talk to you or mention, I'm pointing to Chris Craig, your double kick work.
Oh, well, thank you.
Oh, man, this is great. There's a bunch of moments where you bring that in, and it's solid, man. I like Slipknot and System of a Down level.
Oh, yeah.
Blast beating, But you use it so tastefully in the moments. I just wanted to throw that out there.
Yeah, today you go on YouTube and every 10-year-old kid can play double bass better than most of us ever could. So
don't go on YouTube.
I don't.
It will discourage you.
Everybody from Sweden is going.
The new drummer for Slipknot, I think he's from somewhere in South America. Just ridiculous. Go check him out. I can't remember his name, obviously, because I suck at names. But so the second part it goes into this jam, and then you do this call and answer. Stop, bass solo, stop, drum solo. And then you guys are just having a lot of fun with that. And how many bass tracks are in that solo moment?
Well, in the solo, it's changing keys. So it starts from E minor and goes all the way up to E minor. So
it's like a half step jumps, right?
Well, it's
the E minor scale.
The E minor scale.
Gotcha.
It does that. And so
because there's definitely
I reloaded on every time it did.
Well, there's a foundational bass.
Yes,
I'm not.
Are you talking about the lead part or the?
Well, like you have the foundational bass grooving in the background,
right,
and then of course you have your soloing, which sounds like a guitar. This high, like these pinch harmonic type notes.
Right. Yeah.
Is that it? So it's just one bass, basically two basses, layering that out.
Well, there'd actually be three.
Okay.
Because there's one of them I used a B3 pedal. Like if you listen close, it sounds like an organ in there. That's a B3 pedal. My bass into a B3 pedal.
So that's filling up that sound sonically.
That's
different level, different area of frequency. Mm-hmm. Yeah. Because it never sounds muddy. You would think so much damn bass would just muddy up a mix. It doesn't.
Well, I also have the whammy pedal. And I can kick it up an octave or I can kick it up a fifth or whatever. And so that helps to, so it's not all coming out of the same.
So sorry, you're a horse, everyone. Check it out. Out now.
It is out now.
We'll say that's out now.
And I tried to
Spotify.
pay homage to all the guitar players on that I love. Like, Jimmy Page, Eddie Van Halen, Billy Gibbons, Jeff Beck. Yeah. Pat Travers, Tommy Bolin, all those. Every time it moves a step, I'm trying to channel another guitar player there. So.
And are you pretty much all pick playing?
No.
So there's some finger style?
Well, when I'm doing the lead stuff, I'll play with the pick because to make it bite.
Yeah.
But like when I play bass, it's half and half. Sometimes it's pick, sometimes it's fingers.
Mm-hmm. Cool.
So whatever sounds best.
Are we missing anything on your first hit single here? You know, this is the debut single of this album, so you know we really want to push this one as well. Are we missing anything as far as what you would like to talk about on that song? And it's okay if I'm throwing you under the bus and you have nothing else.
No. Only that, you know, so what does it mean? Well, it means whatever it means to you, I guess. A lot of ways to take that song, right? So we'll just leave it at that.
All right. Now El Camino. And in my early notes, when we're talking about Frayser Blvd, you know, how it runs through Frayser into Memphis, it was a path that carried you guys from your homes. Often that was in Kinley's green El Camino with a radio and an 8-track player.
Right.
All right. So this song here, El Camino, is that like a tie-in?
That's just it's a tie-in. It's our little music.
Another 60-second kind of interlude.
I just call
bridges.
it interlude, right?
Yeah, it's just the interlude. And if you listen to it, you got a bunch of guys jumped in the El Camino and like we used to do. And
sounds like you're leaving a club or going to a club.
Going for a beer run.
Store. Yeah, and there's a band in the background. Like
the radio.
Yeah.
Oh, that's the radio, not a bar.
And if you listen, you click the stations, and what do you run across? You run across Out With the Boys.
Okay.
I did.
Which is the Lord Tracy song.
Yep.
Oh, sorry, I didn't catch that. Yeah. Jeff, you should have caught that.
I caught that one.
Oh, yeah, you say that now.
Yeah.
That's good.
And my El Camino was way too much power for me. I think it had like a 350 or something. And there's no weight in the back. So we rawhide it. I don't know how we, it was, but it took us everywhere. Yeah.
All right. Then Radar Love. Now you guys throw in a cover here, which is delightful. And I had to ask Chris, I texted Chris, who's singing that? And that's you, Kinley.
Yeah, that's me.
You have a killer voice, man.
Oh, well, thank you.
Yeah. I was impressed. I thought it might have been a guest. I didn't know you sang. So I was like, I wonder who the guest vocalist is here. And it's Mr. Kinley Wolfe.
It's the same guy that's playing bass, lead guitar, and everything else on it.
So the story, I'll give you a story with Radar Love. I think it was like 6th, 7th grade when that song come out. And that's when I, wanted to be in a band. And then me and Mike had a drum or something like that. And we were going to play Radar Love. And another friend of ours had a guitar. So I was like, okay, I guess I'm a bass player. So bought a bass from T-Joe. And then, so that song put me into the music biz, I guess.
So it's special.
It's real special to me because that's the first song I could wrap my head around.
And just has that rumbling bass.
Right, yeah.
Anyway, so that's what it kicks in. Drums first, and then that bass just starts.
So we talked about it, and he loved it too, so we're just all over it.
Well, that song to me is like, when they recorded that song for real, Golden Earring, I mean, if you ever record, it's like, how do you capture that kind of magic? When they recorded that song, there was some vibe going on.
Totally.
And that song's timeless, and nobody can copy it like they did it.
Right.
You can't do it. So,
well, you guys hit the energy, though. There's energy.
We had to change it, or why do it, right? Because if you try to do it like they do it, you'll never.
Yeah, you're going to fail.
You're going to fail.
It's impossible.
Yeah.
Right. Because they
probably
magic.
Can't even play it that way.
Yeah, they call it lightning in a bottle.
Right,
Now.
exactly.
Yeah, totally.
Exactly.
It was magic. So anyway, we just kind of kicked it up a notch and play the way we do, which is kind of like a Hot for Teacher beat. We started that little groove, and did we know that was going to turn out like it did? No. But as we started building it, was like, wow, that's kind of got the thing going. It's got something going. So,
and then of course,
we also have a horn section on the chorus.
I was going to bring that up, but the verse has that verse, call to answer, verse, guitar solo, and it's all bass.
Yeah,
and it's just so cool. That solo bass, while that rumbling bass is in the background.
Right.
It's outstanding. So the horn section. This is now the first guest appearance of other musicians. Right.
Yes.
Because it's that bow now bow.
I call it the James Bond part.
So having those horns up on top really just fills it up.
Yeah.
So
and in the chorus, the second half of the chorus, it's all them. And there's a lot of vocals in that chorus too. Me doing like ooh, ah, and all that stuff.
Right,
and I think that's what, like, if you listen to the original recording with headphones on, you hear all those crazy voices doing all that stuff, and I think that's what made the song exotic or whatever.
And the horns, by the way,
yeah,
Club of Wood is a band that Kinley plays with, in Dallas.
Yeah.
Okay.
It's like a New Orleans R&B jazz band.
So you were just able to pull this
So,
unit
yeah.
that's worked together.
I had to pay them.
So you got King J. Hatler on trombone,
Yep.
Joseph the Lep, raised on trumpet, and the Judge, sax and single life. I'm just
Yeah.
pulling this from the website.
Right. He's a force. I mean, they all are, but I mean, the
Yeah.
Judge is, he's.
But you were able to pull a team together. It wasn't like you
Oh yeah.
pulled 3 different guys and
I just
said,
had
hey, do
I
this.
had to bring a bottle of Jack in and
They have that in their
offer
writer.
him some money. Offer him
did
some.
they-
No, that was just like
Did they request brown M&Ms
they
too?
all said no at first, and I go, I'm bringing Jack Daniels.
They said no? They said no? Wow, to you?
Well, the horn players. I don't know if you ever dealt with them. They're really lazy. No.
Not the ones in Memphis, baby.
Fighting words. Oh, speaking of
Oh,
horns.
sorry, I bet the ones in Dallas.
Speaking of horns,
yeah.
let's bring in that trumpet.
Sad.
Oh, trombone. The trombone with
trombone.
the sad
So-
trombone with the thing.
Real quick on this song, I don't know how many times this song has been covered or recorded. The one that stands out to me was White Lion actually did a cover of this song back in the late 80s. And it was always a favorite of mine. You guys just eclipsed the hell out of that. You killed this
thank
thing,
you.
man.
Thank
This
you
is
so much.
this was a great, you just did this song justice. You really did.
Thank you.
So,
Yeah, thank you so
And
much.
it goes back to the mix, for real. Blasting that in the car.
Yep.
And it just sounds great.
Right.
Yeah. All right. Next, we have Rite of Passage. And earlier you were talking about the octave pedal. Was that what you were talking about?
Yeah.
So
Well, it's called a whammy pedal.
whammy pedal. Is
Yeah.
that also used here? Because I hear that.
No, I got
that
a video
effect.
of that. I should give you that video. But it's that's a Pepsi bottle and a bass and a whammy in my whammy bar.
Traditional
Size.
bass.
Yeah, but that's just me tip of the hat to Ronnie Montrose.
Okay.
Have you ever heard that Bad Motor Scooter song or whatever? It's Ron. I mean, it was huge when we were kids, and it's Ronnie Montrose doing a motorcycle
And
on his
Sammy
guitar-
Hager singing.
and Sammy Hager singing.
Yeah.
And Ronnie Montrose is like one of the ridiculous guitar players that never got what he was doing.
What it deserved.
But I mean, that was my tip of the hat to.
And it's a motorcycle pulling up. That's
Yeah.
kind of
Yeah.
what the sound is.
Yeah, and it's another 60-second interlude.
Right.
Exactly.
Vibe here.
And you listen to it, it's him doing the motorcycle pulling up. As that fades out, you hear real motorcycles pulling up and the engine's going off. You hear somebody walking through the gravel and you hear some music in the background till they open the door. And then when they open the door, there's a live music behind the door. And
It's a gentleman's club.
it's a gentleman's club. Right. And what song is playing?
Yeah,
What song is playing? Lord Tracy. She's
she's a
bitch.
bitch.
What a neat way to pepper in your music.
But they used to get a lot of airplay at the time.
yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
Especially in those places.
Well, that was a real story because
Yeah.
we walk into the club back in those days and the main stage is playing that song. And you're going,
And we're
whoa,
like,
that's pretty cool. Yeah. And so that's the rite of passage when you hear your song playing like that.
You're telling a story.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So
Very
what
cool.
what club did you walk in that was playing that song? Was it a gentleman's club?
Yes.
Oh, okay.
Yes.
And you start telling all the strippers, "That's me."
What was remember that one we had in Frayser? It was like I forget the Deja Vu or something like that. And it
Oh
had
yeah,
like,
I remember that.
It had like 30 good-looking girls
one
and one
ugly
ugly
one.
one.
Yeah.
I don't remember.
I always saw the ugly one.
You don't remember that?
I don't remember.
I remember
Yeah. I think it was the other way around.
So I have a note in here, and I'm having trouble recalling the music in my head after listening to these a few times. But tell me if I'm wrong. It sounds like there's what would sound like a guitar, like almost like a palm muting kind of chug.
At the beginning of Is It My Body?
No, rite of passage. Maybe I'm messing up my notes here because there's whammies, or like you said, those. Well, no,
Well,
not whammy.
I was using a whammy bar to do the motorcycle thing. That's the first thing. I
Oh,
did.
that's okay. Okay, so that's the note.
Yeah.
Again, not trying to paint you in a corner here, but it reminded me of "Kickstart My Heart,"
Oh yeah.
Motley Crue.
Totally. But I think they got that from Ronnie Montrose also.
Okay.
Yeah, it was like a nod to him from
I
them.
believe Mick Mars said, "Hey, this is for Ronnie or whatever."
Yeah.
it was the same thing pretty much.
Cool.
Yeah.
That's the note I had in here. So, because there's a song coming up where I'm like, is that James Hetfield on guitar, or is that Kinley on bass? Because it has the same tone, but we'll get there.
Okay.
So now, Is It My Body, which will be coming out July 15th, by the way. But again, the intro you just heard, these dates were there too. So, Is It My Body, now we have our second guest appearance.
Right.
Correct? And that's
So there's 2 guests on that.
on that song.
Yes.
Oh, yeah, you got Jess Vicknair.
Right.
On vocals, who works with Chris and Seeing Red.
Right.
Incredible job, Jess.
Yeah. ripping.
Fantastic vocal.
Awesome. And then Nate,
Yes.
Nate Fowler.
Nate Fowler.
So that is, I put standard guitar,
He's
not bass guitar.
he's a secret weapon. He's like I don't know. He's like a Johnny Thunders kind of guitar player. Sometimes he sounds like he's falling down the stairs, but he always lands on his feet. You're just like, oh god, yeah. And that's Nate. And I believe this is the first song we completed out of all this, right?
Right.
Yeah, because this is the formula we were going to use for the whole record, was have, just regular bass and a guitar and a guest singer. We're going to do that on everything, and it some things fell through and didn't work out like that. So, but this is the one song that is like that. So,
And is it a cover?
it's an Alice Cooper song.
Alice Cooper song
Is it
with a twist, as it says on your website. Okay.
Alice Cooper from the record Love It to Death. It's an early record, very raw, one of my favorite Alice Cooper record, and that's where that song comes from.
Okay.
So go listen to it.
It's awesome, y'all.
Yeah,
I mean, and yes, to Jess.
Yeah,
Man.
Because there's actually a one of me doing a vocal on it, because we didn't know. I didn't know if we were going to get Jess or not, because we just didn't know at the time when we were doing it. And yeah, but when she did it, we're like, oh god, it's
So,
stepped up now.
Yeah. And that was one of the ones you're talking about, flying in tracks. So when we did Jess's vocal, we actually did it in Jimmy Fulp's studio.
I was going
right
to have
around
in
the
my
corner
notes,
from
broken
here.
snare. Yes, I wanted to shout out to Jimmy Fulp. Yes.
Right, man. It was a great job. One Thursday night, me and Jess went over there, and Jimmy, we had sent him the stubs for that track, and Jess did it in a couple hours.
And you guys have a picture on your website of the three of you.
Yeah. We took a few pictures that night, and I was extremely happy with what she did.
Yeah, I was when he sent it to me, I was like, oh god,
Yeah.
The amount of times, Jimmy Fulp, I know you're watching and listening. The amount of times your name comes up, we're gonna have to start charging you sponsorship dollars. So. And before I realized it was a cover song, I kind of made a note of, what does this remind me of? Pretty Reckless was the name that came up. The way Jess sings it, the vocal line on that, and then the fact that it's a female singer too.
Right.
That's kind of what popped in my brain. But then I was like, oh, it's an Alice song that I wouldn't have recognized. So.
Yeah.
Well, Chris had. It's completely rearranged from the way Alice did it. Chris had to.
Oh, this stupid mic.
I've had that song in my head for 10 years, and with just singing it, I'm going, she'd be great singing that song. When Wayne Walker used to play with Seeing Red, I'd say, we need to get Jess to do this song.
Wayne Walker played with Seeing Red?
He did, before he started with
Fast Mothers?
Yes.
Really?
Yeah, that's the reason I'm in the band, through Wayne.
Okay.
But yeah, Wayne, love me some WW, man. He's great.
Yeah, he's great. We almost had him on the show, right? We were him and Cricket.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then we canceled for some reason, probably my meltdowns. Who knows? You never know. And then it didn't come.
I wish we had a video of when we first started doing that, because Chris had that arrangement and he was like humming it to me, but all I knew is the Alice Cooper, like, but he goes, no, and then he would hum it to me and I'd start playing. He goes, yeah, that. And then we'd start playing it and he'd go, no, not that. Yeah.
So before we went in the studio, I had gone down there and we had like 3 or 4 days. I stayed with Kinley. So during the day, we went in there and said, all right, let's arrange this. And that was one of them. And so I had to reprogram the way he remembered it.
Yeah.
Because, I just had it in my mind the way I wanted to do it with those toms and different, breaking it out so you could get the singing in there. Turned out better than I would have hoped.
You said with a twist. So
with a twist.
There you go.
Yeah.
It explains all that.
Rock and roll's always better with a twist.
Sidebar, Wayne Walker, he was at the Stage Stop reunion with a band with Scott Sudbury What band was that, Jeff? Do you remember?
Oh, shit.
Ah, shit.
Yeah.
Sorry.
I should know that too.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Sorry, y'all.
Sorry.
I remember the set.
Sorry, guys.
It's just not going to
All
happen.
right. Windermere. Am I saying it right? Is it Windermere?
Windermere.
Windermere.
Yeah.
So, Kinley, this is when your vocals kick in, correct? This is
Oh yeah. Uh huh.
all right. And so I have here intro guitar question mark.
That's,
Is that regular? Is that a standard
that's
guitar?
bass with the
It's just-
with the whammy pedal, and that's a real nod to Tommy Bolin,
Okay.
that guitar player that died when he was 27. But he was anyway. There's something similar that he did, and I always thought that was a great intro, and it worked really good. Kind of, I mean, it's different because I'm playing it on bass, and
But it sounds
But
like
it's-
a guitar. It just it sounds like
Yeah.
that chug,
Oh,
palm
yeah.
muted bass or
Right.
guitar riff that you would normally hear. But it's bass. But it's not muddy. Like I tried to do that on my standard bass through an Ampeg, it would sound like dog shit. But the way you have it set up, it's great. And then it opens up with a bass solo, right?
yes, yep, and that's just
It would.
well with the whammy pedal kicked up,
Yeah.
an octave, and
Is that how you get those high notes? You just hit that pedal, and then are those like pinch harmonics too that
Yeah.
get you that?
yeah, and I always play bass like that too. Like even when you shouldn't be doing a pinch harmonic on bass, I'm doing it because
You're a
I
lawbreaker.
read somewhere where Chris Squire always did that,
Yeah,
and Entwistle did that.
and Twistle
And so
did a
I was
lot
like,
of things.
well, if
And
they can
Twistle.
do it, I can try to throw it in there. And I'm kind of like lazy learner. So once I get what I want out of somebody's repertoire, I kind of then I just start adding my stuff to it. So I get okay, I can do a pinch harmonic, so I'm gonna
All right, it's with a twist.
right.
You should name a song with a twist.
Yeah.
There you go.
Yeah, I expect some of these bass licks to be in the Tina Turner tribute show very
Yeah,
soon.
sure. I want to keep my job.
I know that's
They'd
what
be like, "What are you doing over there?"
I
Pinch harmonics? You don't like them?
I teach, I teach in Dallas at this little school of music, and it's not School of Rock or whatever, but it's called Sounds. But sometimes I have like some students, and they go, "Show me how to do that stuff," and I'm like, "No, you have to learn how to play bass first because you
Foundation.
get if you pull that and at any gig, most like 95% of the time you're going to get fired right off the bat.
Yeah, exactly.
They're
yeah.
going to say, "Hey, bye."
Yeah, I mean, I had to learn the Route 5 of country and the discipline.
Yeah.
That's the hard part of playing country is the discipline
Right.
to fucking just
To
stay
just
there.
play what you're
Just
supposed to play.
Rudimentary
Yeah.
half and quarter notes.
Make it work with the drummer.
Right.
Yes, and then maybe
And
a
then put
walk
it
here and
and
there.
do it with feel. And
Yes.
That's hard to do.
Yes.
Play simple and move
really
people
hard,
is
yeah.
hard to do.
I pick
Probably
on
the hardest thing.
I pick on the song Wagon Wheel because I played it. It's like the country version of Sweet Home or Mustang Sally.
Right.
But telling you, there's some bass players that would be like, "Oh, that's easy. Try it.
Right.
Try to get through
Not
that
so
4
easy.
minutes in a band where you are try to do it like the record,
Right.
and you can't move from the bass line. You have to hang in there, and it's harder than people think.
It is.
So-
That's the art of it, to be able to play that and move people from the simplest element.
Yeah,
That's
I mean
hard to
AC/DC
do.
is
Oh, absolutely.
the kings of that.
Yep.
Yeah.
Just
Yeah.
eighth notes on the bass, dun 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 dun.
But
So
they're
much
making
of
it groove.
Fuck
Yeah.
yeah.
Right.
'cause-
Yeah, and there's moments where sometimes the drums will push and guitars don't,
Right.
and then vice versa.
Yeah.
And if they would have gone together, each of those times wouldn't be the same.
Right.
Yep.
Exactly.
There's
yeah.
that rhythm tension there.
Yeah. You got to have that swagger.
Yeah. Yeah. So
And most young drummers would look at the AC/DC drums and say, "That's
Easy.
simple."
yeah.
No, it's not as simple as
Yeah.
you think it is.
No. Yeah. So
Absolutely not. It's one of the hardest things.
Yeah. The simple stuff always is. Yeah. I mean, it's just hard to have that discipline and, to groove is the main thing. It's not the notes you're playing. It's the groove.
yeah, the feel.
Yeah, it's the feel.
So to the kids out there, learn that first and then pinch harmonics.
Then learn to be Kinley Wolfe.
Bring in the whammy bar, bring in all the effects.
If you listen to my bass parts, the bass parts are pretty simple. I play back when I play, but it's pretty simple. I try to lock up to.
You should hear Kinley play with some of the bands besides Lord Tracy and this, where it's all solid bass.
Yeah.
Because there's nobody that does it better. He fills the bottom up.
Yeah.
Feels everything.
Yeah, I'm glad you brought that up because the foundational bass lines on this album, you bring it back. You're playing it like the bass normally would be, right in the pocket.
It's not, a lot of it's in the person's hands. If you watch bass players, you're doing the right notes, you're doing the right time, but some guys can just move you by doing those little simple 4 notes, and other guys are just playing those simple 4 notes. So this guy moves you with those simple 4 notes.
And just this cool,
at least
tone.
he moves me anyway.
Thank you.
This is so sweet. What a sweet moment. I love it. Cheers. The Martian soda is starting to set in, man. It's starting to bring up the vibe.
So Windermere, that's a real place, by the way.
Yeah.
Okay.
There's a lake. It's still a lake. Still exists here in Memphis. And back in the day, we used to skip school and go over there. And somebody actually drowned there, which is where the inspiration for that song came. That song was one of the old Savage songs, but it was under another name.
Okay.
So we rewrote it, and I thought...
And this is the one you updated the lyrics on?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Windermere. We wrote it about that lake, which had a story. It's kind of written on the website there. And I thought it turned out okay. I thought he sang it real great. The music on that song is... the beats turned around a little bit, which makes it a little bit different than normal. And so ended up turning out pretty good for the record, we thought.
Cool.
I love your note that it's got great riffage throughout. That's a Derekism.
Yeah, great riffage, dude.
Yeah.
Awesome.
Yeah, man. So now moving to See Gretchen March. I saw this as the Chris Craig moment, right? It's an instrumental, but it's very drum heavy. Am I correct in saying this is sort of a moment where you're like,
right?
Let's do some drum soloing rhythm.
Enough of this Kinley talk. we need some Chris Craig moments here.
When we're doing tracks, we're going. We need to have a drum feature and a bass feature, and so it was going to be the drum feature. But like I wrote, a lot of times drum solos are boring.
Yeah.
Yep.
Everybody can do lick after lick. So one of the things that always inspired me was there's an Alice Cooper song called Halo of Flies. It's off of a Killer record. And Neil Smith and Dennis Dunaway, during that song, they started this bass riff, and Dennis played a solo over it. It was not like a go crazy solo, but it's very structured. And that's kind of what this was inspired by. Have you ever heard that song?
I have not.
You should go listen to it.
Yeah, you
You'll
should
hear
check it out. It's really inspiring.
But that's where we kind of put that together with. We said, let's do a bass riff and let me solo around that bass riff.
And this is where some of that double kick bass starts coming in too.
It started off with some of that with a double kick, pattern, and through it, I did a lot of. So there's some Tommy Aldridge stumbling around in there, which I love that when he does that. So that's one of the things I took from him.
Yeah,
and there's some different times in there playing 6s over 4s and different things like that we just throw in to try to make it interesting. And then we went back and put a whole bunch of guitar and textures to make it.
So it's a mixture of bass and guitar in the track.
Well, it's all bass.
It's still all bass. Yeah. And it sounds like it's just a nice foundation kind of background soundscape for you, Chris, to then just go.
And the name, now, if you read the website, so this is a true story too. That was when that See Gretchen was something my mom came up with when she was like in the hospital. And so,
I read all this morning.
And so you can read it out there, but basically it's like, okay, I took that name, and in my mind I saw See Gretchen as a sea monster or something.
Right.
And so when we started putting together the track, it's like
it's not you. It's not
you can.
problem.
Yeah, there you go.
It's this thing. For y'all. Okay, I'm sorry for the derailing here.
That's
but
okay.
Kinley's mic is moving on him. And here's why. You don't see this on the show.
The table's bending, right?
But you see the pretty lighting in here, and I try to make this sound great, look as good, but the mics are clamped to a Walmart fucking cart table. There you go. Please continue.
I forgot what I was saying.
Next
song. Sea Gritchy. Yeah, so it's just like you can see the Sea Gritchy, the creature doing stuff. I mean, it's the movements of that song are like he's just rolling, he's walking, he's marching.
Right.
You can, at least in my mind, that's kind of the way we put it together, so you can visualize.
Yeah. And you said this came from your mom. She was unconscious, and when she came to, she made that statement.
Yeah, she had some surgery, and we were sitting there one day in the hospital, and she when people come out of being knocked out,
anesthesia.
Yeah, they are.
Oh yeah,
crazy.
we all do
she goes,
insane things.
She says something like, "You see Gretchy?"
Yeah.
I went, "Gretchy." We all kind of laughed about that, but she don't even remember that.
Right.
But yeah, that's where that came from. I I said, "Well, see Gretchy march."
Yeah.
For my drum feature, there you go.
I love it. I love a good story behind a name. Yeah. Like, where'd you come up with that? And then you get a real story. It's awesome.
He has a story for everything.
Mm-hmm.
Like,
Sure.
I mean, see, he doesn't even do a drum solo without a story.
Yeah, it works great for podcasts.
It's it's great because it's like, he'll tell us, okay, so this song, think about, and he's got the whole story. We're like, oh, okay.
Sure. So it kind of helps you with the vibe.
Well, he's thinking about, he's already got the big picture because me, I start, I'll focus on something small or something stupid, But he's got the story and everything. I'm like, okay.
Well, thank you for sharing it. Yeah. That's why I love having you guys here.
Yeah, totally.
Well, this next song is great.
No, let me set this up.
Yep.
We now are entering the Flogging a Dead Bass trilogy.
Yes.
I'm calling it.
Yes.
And part one is The Wank Continues. So, from the website, we find that you're wondering, what the fuck does wank mean, right? Well, I think we can all figure out what that can be considered, right?
Right.
But wank is when Kinley lets loose with that wild, insane bass shit. Whammy bars, distortion, string taps and bends, loud as fuck. Straight from the website that you need to go see. So flogging a dead bass. Before we get to the wank thing we just described, flogging a dead bass, where does that come from?
That's that Sex Pistols thing, flogging a dead horse or whatever. And when I was in the cult, I met Steve Jones, the guitar player for the Sex Pistols and all that. And there was always be like a new book about the Sex Pistols coming up. And he would just look at me and just go like, "The swindle continues." He goes, "I just take the money."
So I'm sorry, I didn't mean to interrupt you.
No, I was just saying, I just thought like, because I always do like a wank or what,
Right.
I'm always doing that and repeat. And then, it's a forever thing with me.
I have an adolescent mind. Sometimes I do a wank. It's just like, funny.
Hey, wanks and riffages.
So,
but when I sit at home, I'm constantly playing. And I can't I don't have the discipline to play the blues for an hour. So next thing I know, I'm
And this is definitely loud as fuck bass solo. And I put Eruption vibe
Oh
Van
yeah,
Halen.
totally, yeah.
And then as I move to part two, then it's even more. No, part three is when it sounds even more like it. But so is this just like a nod to Eddie Van Halen?
Yeah, yeah, definitely. So the first one, the Wank 3, is just that's
it's part one.
That's me in my living room doing blah 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 blah. And then the part 2, the ode to Stanley. That Stanley Clarke was the first guy, first bass player that I heard just completely blew my mind, and so that's all kind of Stanley Clarke-ish. And then the last one, it's Fantasy 3. That's me dreaming that I'm Van Halen.
Because now
and that's got the crowd going. And that's cool. So that's my.
I thought you guys were playing in an arena.
That's my fantasy.
Great.
That's my fantasy.
And you definitely are closer to Eruption. You're still making it Kinley's way. but it's all the finger tapping on bass. It's pretty cool. But part 2, I have Wolf Dog for Stanley. Before reading your website, I had put Primus. It's kind of a little vibe.
I'm sure
Les
Claypool probably got pulled a lot from Stanley Clarke.
Yeah, absolutely did. So I was like, close.
So Stanley Clarke had a song called Wild Dogs, and I kind of got it from that. But my last name is Wolf, so I was like Wolf Dog.
Wolf Dog. And there's Howling Dogs in the mix.
Yeah.
That's no dog. That's him doing it.
Nice. Can we get a sample?
See, I do it all.
All right, so Flogging a Dead Bass Trilogy. I suggest checking that out.
And the wank, as the wank continues, it's like what Steve Jones told me, is like the swindle continues. He's making money, I'm just making noise.
Side note, I keep saying go check that out. Do you plan on releasing all of these over time? As
singles?
Is this whole album going to be out on Spotify at some point?
August 1st.
August 1st.
Okay, I should have asked that.
Yeah, the whole record will be out. Yeah.
I'm going to make a note of that. So in the intro, whole album, August 1st. Okay, cool.
Yep.
Yeah, so in August, check out that trilogy. And then we do a 2-parter called Mountainside. Okay. And the first one, part 1, The Ascent. This is when we're really getting soundscapey. Right. And I hear an acoustic bass, but not upright, like an acoustic bass.
Right, an acoustic bass, yeah.
And then bongos. Is that you, Chris?
That's, what was that? I think that was the djembe.
Yeah.
Okay, but is that you?
Yes.
Okay, and then background swelling bass, just kind of atmospheric, almost like whale sounds back there.
Yeah, I wanted to I love when Jimmy Page does like on the Yardbirds, he did that. I think it's called White Summer, and it's just an acoustic guitar piece. And to me, it's so powerful and it's so exotic and so And then he did one on the first Led Zeppelin album called Black Mountainside. And then, anytime he does any of that acoustic stuff, and he always has some exotic percussion with it. And I just wanted something like that. And
I love hearing your all's influences on each thing. It's awesome. I like that. But you're with a twist. Then part 2, The Enlightenment. And then now there's vocals on this one. That is Chris.
Yes.
Chris Craig. Awesome. And now a standard acoustic enters.
Play acoustic on there. Yeah.
That's used. It's almost like a classical-ish kind of vibe, would you say? What kind of style would you label that?
Just kind of Zeppelin-y.
Just finger picking.
I'm playing with a pick. Just
just chords.
Yeah.
Just chords. That's all.
Chords.
Chords.
And some harmonics. I did some harmonics and stuff on it.
Yeah. And then again, going back to what kind of just hit my brain, I heard like Floyd in there, Pink Floyd, pre Dark Side, like metal album, Obscured by Clouds.
I would say.
Yeah, I think that's
nice,
fair,
atmospheric,
yeah,
and your singing, has the same kind of delivery like a Roger Waters would do.
He's got a story for this too. So.
Well, there's a story to every song, but
Well, let's hear it.
Yep.
Tell us a story, Chris. Come on.
Let's hear it.
That's what we're here for.
Story time with Chris Craig, ladies and gentlemen.
Mountainside. So the ascent, when he's doing the bass part, it's kind of like you're climbing a mountain. And you can read this. It's all spelled out on this website as well. But his part, when he did that, it just hit me as like you're climbing up, you're ascending up a mountain. Because in the end, this song is about someone who is abducted by an alien. That's kind of what it's about. And so if you go out camping in Arkansas and going up a mountain, that's what the first of it is. And you're hitting plateaus where you see places and it makes you want to go higher and finally get to the top.
Yeah.
And that's where it breaks into the second part, which is the Enlightenment, which in my mind, as I'm writing that, is somebody's alien contact with them. And that's what that.
You guys like aliens, hence Martian soda.
Absolutely.
Well, when I grew up, I had a real big problem with it because I like from second grade to 6th or 7th grade. I was, I couldn't stand. I couldn't be alone in a room because.
Well, what's funny is
I thought I was, being watched.
well, I'm wearing an Area 51 Memphis band shirt. The first thing Kinley sees is Area 51.
Yeah.
Is that a band? I'm like, it is actually a band. But you saw that word and those number.
I got to get a shirt.
That number.
I got to get a shirt.
Josh
band.
Haynes. Oh,
Yeah,
that great band.
But Chris kind of took a horrifying part of my life and made it good.
That's so sweet. Feeling the love in here. It's great.
And that may be my favorite thing on the record. Maybe.
Really?
I really like that whole piece. The two pieces.
Mm-hmm. That's awesome. And again,
the acoustic. And
they will
bass
segue straight into each other, right?
Yes.
Yeah.
Right.
So
They were one song, and they kind of still are, but we wanted to break it up because, we thought, well, there might be situations where somebody might just want to use this beginning part with the bass. Mm-hmm. And so it's broken up into two pieces, and the enlightenment and the ascent, we kind of named it appropriately. Mm-hmm. But it was originally one song.
Okay.
Cool. Moving on to All Roads.
Yes, All Roads.
All right. Some another appearance of Kinley on the vocals.
Yeah. Uh-huh.
Okay.
Chris is in there too.
Okay. So there's a mixture.
Yeah.
And
They mixed me down. My goodness. In that song.
No, what happened was we did it, and then he left, and then Jim goes, "There's not enough vocals." Our studio guy. There's not enough vocals on there. Go back in there, And so I just overdubbed over and over and over until he got the right amount that he needed. Yeah.
That he needed.
Yeah.
So demanding over there.
Yeah.
No. The first note I have is big fuzz bass.
Yeah. Yeah.
And it's massive fuzz bass.
Massive.
Isn't it?
It's massive. The bass is giant on that song.
It is awesome. And there's like the swelling again on the front
that's
end.
the whammy pedal.
That's the
so
whammy
it's going
pedal.
from low octave to high octave, low octave to high octave.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And
So
that main riff, that's bass as well.
yes, it's
So-
all bass. Yeah.
What's funny is I hear a little bit of Rage Against the Machine in there on that riff.
Yeah.
But then Tom Morello is all about that.
Yes. He
All
is,
about that
yeah.
whammy pedal. So
Right.
it was pretty neat.
He's a great. I mean, a huge inspiration. Yeah.
And it's just solos throughout. So it seems like another moment to
Right.
you are just letting fucking loose on this thing.
Yeah. It's gonna be a part 1 and part 2.
Mm-hmm.
But we didn't get part 2 on this one. So maybe on the next one we put part 2 of All Roads.
The next one. The next one?
Yes.
Are we hinting at another album?
Oh yeah.
Nice. I don't think he's hinting. He's saying, all right.
Good point, yeah. And then the last one, yes, Only Then. I hear a lot of this going on in there.
Yeah.
It's real stuff.
Some
from
frogs,
my backyard.
It's
vocals.
it's all
really?
from his backyard.
Nice.
Yeah.
Yeah, I took the zoom out to the back. Well, actually, the iPhone. That song. It's a voice memo from my iPhone.
Okay.
As I'm sitting in my chair one night, when I come up with these lyrics, I went, "Oh, check this out!" I just kind of sang it in the phone. I sent it to him, and the next thing I knew, he's got the guitar to it. I'm going, "Oh my crap!" And so we need to redo that. And we go, "No, we're going to leave it just like that because it's got that vibe."
Right.
It's
You're ending the album, and it feels like it's the end of the night. You're
Right.
chilling. It's
So-
a neat way to end.
that song. If you listen to it, there's a man walking down like in the woods. It sounds like, and then he's digging a hole or a grave or whatever you want it to be,
Ooh.
and that's all going on behind the singing of that. And then he walks off into the night, and all you hear is the sounds of the night and the dog barking, which is also my
Is that
dog.
Kinley? Oh.
That's my dog Tex.
Okay.
Actually, we recorded him too. But when everything's over and at the end, that's the end.
Yeah.
You buried it and you move on.
Yeah. Outstanding. I really
he would-
enjoyed all of this.
He would send me like all these things that he just did, and I'm like, where in the hell did that come from? He goes, I just did it just now, and all that. And so I had all these things, and then he sent me that one, and I'm like, oh, this is, I can fix this or not fix it, but
add to it.
I can add to this. And when I did it, I was like, that's it.
Yeah.
I don't want to. I mean, I think it would have messed it up if we tried to.
Well,
it was just perfect like it was. It had a vibe. It had a feel. I'm all about feel and vibe. So
it's awesome to me that the two of you work this well together, because I don't have that kind of creativity. You could send me the same thing and I'd be go, what the hell does he want me to do with this? Yeah. But you have the imagination to take it and do that with it. It's just I'm a cover band musician.
Sure, just come up with that. And I'm just, and I'm blown away by it.
Yeah.
So I'm like, well, I got to step it up.
When I heard that, I mean, I just sent it to him because I thought it was pretty cool.
Yeah.
And then I go into the studio a few months later and they turned it on and there's all this guitar behind it. I'm going, what the hell?
That's neat.
I'm going, damn, that's cool. Who did that? So it ended up being on there, surprisingly, but it's just part of the adventure and part of the soundscape.
The whole process.
So, right.
Well, man, this has been fun. Before we wrap this up, do you guys want to go through these credits? Do you guys want to throw some love out to these?
Sure, yeah.
People. I'll rip through them here for the sake of time, if you don't mind. Recorded and mixed at Sonic Dropper Studio in Dallas by Jim King.
Jim King is our partner. He's like the third member.
Yeah,
the third member.
Yes,
couldn't done it without him.
Awesome.
Yeah.
He's the mastering done by Mayor Applebaum.
Right. Go to his website. He's mastered Faith No More, Rob Halford, a whole bunch of metal guys. He's a guy out of New York.
He knew what to do with us right away.
Yeah.
Awesome.
He didn't have to ask questions like, what the fuck is all this bass?
Well, again, you hear about all this bass in there. I promise you, it sounds full and clean, which is remarkable considering it's all this
Jim
fuzz
King.
bass.
Jim. He'd clean it up somehow, because sometimes I'd hear it and I'm like, oh Jesus, what are we gonna do with that?
I would say, when I say some pics provided, the pictures on the website, you got Danny Day, Kelly Craig, Lawrence, Asia.
He's the guy for the rooftop. If you ever played up there,
Oh, okay.
he does the Sierra Hotel images.
Okay, and then we got Ken Walker and Chris Jeans.
Yes, that's Chris.
Chris Jeans. Off camera here. You want to say hi? You want to make an appearance?
Come on.
He's sitting over here taking pictures. Come say hello. Come.
All the way
you
down.
go.
There you go.
There he is.
And then Nita Macris. I mean,
Nita, like, I had to say this, like,
Sure.
Nita was, almost like my mother, because as soon as, like, him and Shawn took off to Black Oak, I moved to Raleigh in an apartment and started going to the stage stop and seeing bands, trying to find somebody to play with.
yeah.
And Nita was there, and so my apartment burned down one night, and the whole apartment's burned down. I didn't have anywhere to go, so I went to. I was waiting to get a ride or whatever, so I went to the stage stop. It was open, so I went in there, and Nita's like, "What in the hell are you doing in here like that?" And I go, "This is all I have. I have these Levi's, this leather jacket, and this bass." With a fucked up case, because it got stuck in the stairs when I was trying to run down, and the fire was like burning my back. So I just picked it up and threw it off the second floor.
Right.
Jeez, wow.
It destroyed the case. I had it like tied with bass strings.
But it worked because it didn't destroy the guitar.
And so, finally Nita got me some food and drinks and all that. And then later that day I went home, and Nita and Rusty had bought me clothes and stuff, put it in a suitcase.
Wow.
And Rusty brought it over to me, and it was, he said, "Nita bought you this stuff."
Yeah, that's the next name, Rusty Little.
Lytel.
Lytel.
And let me, real quick, I just got to say this.
Yeah.
We can't go past Nita that quickly,
Oh,
because she meant that to so many people. Mm-hmm. You are not the first person I've heard tell a story like that.
Mother figure.
She was an amazing person, and she did so much for so many, and we miss her. And you guys had a note here that you wish you could have performed this at the stage stop for her, and so do I. I wish you could have.
Yeah, for sure.
Well, she pretty much was a big thing with us getting the Lord Tracy record going.
Yeah.
She brought all the people to stage stop, and we were playing the record people in the stage stop, and that's probably one of the first times that ever happened. Where record people set foot in the stage stop, you know. And,
right. It's the same story.
Nita made it happen.
It's the same story you've heard. I mean, we still might be playing music after all these years, but the road we took certainly was
went through
molded by what she did and where we are today.
Okay.
So Rusty Lytle.
Rusty Lytle.
He, I'll read what's on the website. Here's a cold one for you, Taz, for all the Lord Tracy gear you hauled and set up around the country. Tell us more.
He was our roadie, and
he's also a guy we grew up with. He was one of our childhood friends, and he ended up working with us with Lord Tracy through all the years. He was actually Kinley's bass tech.
Wow.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. He had a Tasmanian devil.
Okay.
Yeah. So we'd call him Taz.
There you go.
Yeah.
Okay.
And he was he saved our ass a lot.
Yeah. But unfortunately, Rusty passed.
Yeah.
Only a few months ago, right in the middle of this, which is where this came up because he passed right when we were putting this together and finish it up. Mm-hmm. So we wanted to shout out to him.
Well, condolences.
Yeah.
To a close friend like that. So much history there.
Yeah.
Right.
It's tough. Shawn Lane. Unfortunately, someone else that's passed, but we talked about the very beginning of this. He came up. Here we are again.
Yeah.
Shawn Lane, his name comes up here constantly as a major influence.
Well, our original idea probably was before it's just me and him, was like we wanted to do this like with Shawn, like us three, to do just like some ripping.
Yeah, we talked about it through the years when he was after Black Oak. We wanted to get together and do something, but it never happened for one reason or another.
He would call me like once or twice a year at 2:00 in the morning. I'm sure he was, flying high.
Right.
But we would talk about a little bit about it, and then we would start talking about what music we were listening to and stuff like that. And like I say, in the thing, like when I was playing with Black Oak, I never really did solos like that until Jim Dandy one night goes like, "You're doing a bass solo tonight," and I was like, "What?"
Yeah.
He goes, "You're doing a bass solo. We got Chris is doing drum solo. You can do a bass solo." I'm like, "Sean's doing the solo." I go, "Yeah, those guys are ripping." And I remember talking to Sean like, "What the hell am I going to do?" And he goes, "You can do it. What do you want it to sound like?" And I go, "Well, I can't do like a traditional bass solo." And he goes, "Well, don't do one. Just play a lot of hammer-ons, distortion, pull-offs, harmonics. Just do it like that." Bam. People will love it. And then I was like, "Really?" He's
I'm allowed to do that?
Yeah, and then Sean, he's like 5 years younger than me, and I'm like, "Really?" Like he's my dad or something. Sean's like, "Yeah."
Yes, young grasshopper.
Yeah. And so that kind of, set me free.
It kind of molded your sound, didn't it?
Totally.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Totally.
Because you certainly figured it out.
And then he's like, he's right in on it. I mean, so we're like, bam, we could go out there and entertain for
awesome.
Well,
a while.
Suffice to say, this last one is probably the most important one on the whole list. Extra special thanks to Laurie and Maureen. How do you put up with us?
Right.
We are both grateful and extremely lucky. So, job well done mentioning them. It's easier. It's easier to go home.
So Maureen is my wife.
Yeah,
and she's she loves this because she's like, this is so great. It's like y'all grew up together. You've gone away, went back together, gone away, got back together, and all this. And so anytime like I'm talking on the phone, and she walks by, she goes, "Are you talking to your girlfriend?" And I go, "What?" And she goes, "Chris, it's Chris, right?" And I'm like, "Yeah."
It's a bromance.
It's a bromance.
Yeah. And Lori is his wife.
Yeah, Lori just says, "Don't put my picture on the website." Okay.
What about
She's down the hall from here.
Can we put her picture on the podcast?
It was funny yesterday.
get
We were doing the photo shoot with Chris, and then we finished doing that, and we're in there drinking our things, and then Lori's over there, and there was a break in talking for a second. She goes, "Can we eat now?" And Chris is like, "Yeah." And then we started talking again, and she goes, "Apparently y'all can talk like forever about nothing." Yes.
About nothing? What are you talking about?
About anything.
Everything.
Oh, yeah. I changed the word.
Anything.
Oh, sorry about that.
You're going to pay for this one.
Well, look, it goes without saying how grateful we are of you guys again collaborating with us, making the drives like you did to come to Hernando.
Oh, well, thank you guys for having us.
Outstanding.
Yeah.
It's an honor that you guys would be willing to do that, to come here. It's awesome. And I know so many people are going to enjoy this. Yeah. And this is very unique. This is the first time we dissect a project like this.
Well, this is a rhythm section.
That's right.
Absolutely.
Right. Yeah. And just so you know, as you watch the two shot here, you see Chris on the right side. That's because he's next to Jeff, drummers.
Yeah.
We actually did that. Yeah. Bass right over here. Yeah. Bam.
All right.
That's right.
So what are the odds of us seeing a live performance of any of this music?
We're working on it. We're going to do it.
Okay.
I mean, yeah.
Awesome.
It's going to happen.
Good deal. Is it going to happen? Is it going to happen in Memphis?
Oh, it's got to.
Yeah, I would
Yeah,
hope
it has
so.
to. Yeah.
Okay.
Do you need a rhythm bassist to help you out?
Maybe.
Maybe.
I mean, we're still trying to figure out how do you do all this stuff
Chris,
for two people.
do you need a roadie? I'm happy to help load gear.
Actually, you can sing the song. So that's not
No, I cannot.
Well, man, this could go on forever.
Yep.
And I want it to end, but thanks, guys.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Please,
Man.
let's go back to FrayserBlvd.com. It's BLVD, I should mention. And if anyone wants to reach out to you guys, it's info@FrayserBlvd.com.
Right.
Go to Spotify right now. Right now, as this episode publishes.
Apple Music, Spotify,
Yeah,
everything.
all the digital platforms. Sorry You're a Horse and Radar Love is out right now. I'm telling you, you want to go listen to these songs. They're just massive. And then coming soon is It My Body featuring Jess.
Yes.
So that's a great way to come out with those three. And thanks for giving us the advanced copies of this stuff. It's really cool. We have some secrets that you guys don't know about. We know what this shit sounds like. So what do you say, Jeff? Before we say goodbye, let's thank everyone, right?
Yep. As always, band sponsors, you're the fuel that keeps this thing going. Without you, we just don't exist. Derek and I just fade into oblivion. Follow us on Facebook and Instagram at The Rhythm Section Pod, and our website is therhythmsectionpod.com.
And don't forget about our exclusive Sunday replay series where we bring back all of your favorite interviews on YouTube, Apple, and Spotify. Chris's and Kinley's original interview will be circling back at some point every Sunday. So this interview will be, I don't know, next fall sometime.
Right.
So, and then our tip bucket again. We got links in the description for our Venmo Cash app. You can search the Rhythm Section Pod on either app. During our intro section on the video presentation, you'll see some QR codes. Feel free to zap those. And if you find it in your heart to help support the cause here, we would love it and really appreciate it. And like Jeff said, one more time, go see a band.
Yep, absolutely.
And when these guys play live, you better bet your bottom dollar we're going to be talking about it.
And we'll be there.
Pushing you guys there. So
Chris, Kinley, thanks, guys.
Yes,
you.
outstanding.
Thank you, guys.
Take care, y'all.